Hello and welcome to this practice that is meant to start with a little more intensity. So if you're feeling like you need a pick-me-up or your mind is really busy and you need to move the body to kind of help calm yourself down, this is the practice for that. We'll start standing. We'll do a little bit more vigorous but still very accessible yoga asana, and then we'll come down and finish up on our backs with some moves on the back, including a very brief meditation. So if you like, when you're ready, you're welcome to come to the top of your mat or wherever it is that you're practicing, and we'll begin in mountain pose. So starting in mountain, and we can treat this like a pose that it is. So maybe feeling for your feet on the ground. You can feel for your big toe mounds, pinky toe mound, follow the foot and heel connected to the ground. And then from here, see if you can feel for a little bit of length through the legs and through the spine. And then as always, we'll look for some areas to find ease as well. Maybe softening your shoulders down, perhaps widening through your collarbones, feeling some release around the face and the jaw if that is available to you. And then we'll begin with some half sun salutes, and we'll go from there with chair pose and some warrior work. From here, inhale your arms to connect up at the top if you like, and then exhale to fold all the way down over your legs. Inhale for your halfway lift, and exhale to fold. When you're ready, coming to stand up, press through your feet, sweep your arms up, palms touch as you're ready, and then exhale your hands down to your heart. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms up. Connect the palms if you like. Exhale to fold down over the legs, as much bend in the knees as you need. Inhale then for your halfway lift, slide your hands up your shins. Exhale to fold. And then in your own pace, pressing through your feet to stand all the way up. Maybe palms connect to the top once more. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time like that. Inhaling your arms up. Exhale to fold, releasing hands and head down. Inhale, halfway lift to your comfort level. Exhale, fold. And then press through your feet to stand all the way up, palms touch, exhale, hands to heart. Releasing back to mountain pose. You're welcome to reset in any way that feels good to you. We'll come into chair pose with a slightly different variation maybe than what you're used to. So from here, we'll step the foot out, your right foot out a little, so feet are a little wider than hips distance, and you're welcome to make that stance feel comfortable to you. For this one, if it works for you, you could bring your arms just straight up. Maybe reaching fingertips forward so you feel the shoulder blades spreading. If this is uncomfortable to you in any way, you can put your hands on your hips or reach your arms straight up. From here, we'll sink the hips down and back. So feeling for some length through the spine still, core is drawing in. Depending on how much intensity you want, you can go pretty deep with this one, or you could stay up. So that is completely your choice. You could look down and just check with your knees. Knees will track over the midfoot. Weight will still be in the heels. You can even feel for a little buoyancy in your legs. Maybe another breath or two. And then as you're ready, pressing through your heels to stand all the way up, and then you're welcome to release your hands down and maybe step the foot, your feet in or right foot in a little to reconnect to about hips distance with your feet. Maybe a steady breath to recenter after chair pose, re-regulate. Take one more round. So stepping out, again, a little wider if you like, reaching your hands up if you want to go that route, but anywhere you want to put your arms is up to you. And from here, hips a little bit back and then down. So you can feel for that spreading of your shoulder blades, drawing perhaps your low rib in, low belly in a bit, so you can feel for your own inner stability. Weight is in the heels. You might be able to shift your weight back and wiggle your toes. And we'll stay for 3, 2, 1, and then press through your feet to stand up. If your arms are reaching forward, you're welcome to bring them down. And then again, maybe bring your foot in or feet in a little closer together. In any of these shapes, you're welcome to stay longer or come out early, depending on how you're feeling today. From here, we'll come right into warrior one. So we'll step the left foot back for warrior one. You're welcome again to find a stance for your feet where you feel stable. So that means side to side. Maybe you go a little wider with the feet, front to back, depending on how much intensity you want. The bigger step back you take, the more bend you can put in your knee, the more challenging it'll be, and vice versa. No hierarchy, so feel where you want to go with this today. And then connect to your feet on the ground, feel the stability of your legs. For this one, we'll find a goalpost or cactus arm. You might pause here for a moment and get a feel for this. Again, connect to your feet on the ground, the strength of your muscles, and your legs lengthening up through the spine, and maybe a little opening through the chest to whatever degree feels good to you. From here, we'll press the arms back a little more, maybe a tiny back bend at the top. Could be inhale, then exhale, we'll pull palms, forearms, maybe elbows together and round in. We'll go back and forth. Inhaling to open, and then exhale to round. Good, 2 more times like that. Inhale to open, and exhale to round your back. If you need to come out anytime, you're welcome to. Maybe one more. Inhale to open, and exhale to pull palms together. Maybe forearms, maybe elbows. Come back to the starting position. Maybe a pause here again, a little opening through your chest if you like. We'll bring the palms together to touch now and hover chest over the front thigh. So hovering your chest over your thigh. We'll use that forward momentum to step the back foot up. And you're welcome to shake it out. Make any adjustments to your position that you need to. Reset. Maybe a breath to collect yourself in mountain pose. We'll try the other side, stepping your right foot back. So warrior one, right foot back. As much or as little bend in the front knee, you can find that. Either way, feeling connected to the ground. So push your feet into the floor. Some intentional engagement of your leg muscles, and then when you're ready, cactus arms. I like to think a little drawing my low ribs in, some engagement through the core, but an openness through the chest. Steady your breath here. And then as you're ready, inhale, we'll peel the arms, or press the arms a little back to open the chest. Then maybe exhale, palms, forearms, elbows-ish can touch. A few more times like that. Inhaling to open, and exhale to round. And maybe 2 more. Inhale to peel open. Exhale, a little rounding of the back as you pull your palms together. 1 more time to open. And round in. Maybe exhale. Good. And come back to cactus arms. Could find a little more length in the spine and openness through the chest. You squeeze your left glute. And then palms will come together to touch. We'll hover chest over thigh. And then step your back foot up. And reset. But you can shake that out a little bit. We'll take a moment back in mountain pose. Really like to use mountain as an intentional way to re-regulate after a little bit more invigorating work. So finding maybe some stillness in mountain. Of course, if you need to move and keep shaking it out a little, you're welcome to. If it feels comfortable to you to be still for a few breaths, find ease where you can. Maybe notice your breath rate slow, your heart rate slow, you're welcome to that. We'll take 1 more round of chair pose, and then we'll make our way back closer to the floor. So 1 more round of chair of your choice. So you could go with the wider stance, the one that we did before, or you could stay a little bit more classical chair with feet together, big toe mounds connecting, maybe space between the heels. So chair pose of your choice. Hands could be a prayer, or you could reach your arms up. So whatever chair shape you want to take, I'm going to go with that first option. And we'll start to come in. So find your shape. Start to sink your hips down and back. The mechanics of the shape are largely the same regardless of the variation you're taking. Maybe draw a little bit belly in and up, long through your spine. Steady your breath. Weight is in the heels. You can see that the knees aren't collapsing in. You could actively, almost like you could pry the mat apart with your feet to feel for some engagement in your outer hips. And we'll stay for 3, 2, 1, and then come on up and out of that. Release your arms down wherever they are and reset your stance. Steady breath. Maybe softening. If you're noticing a little heat is starting to build, feel for now perhaps some of that to start to dissipate. So we can teach ourselves to feel for that and notice the upregulating, and then consciously work on the noticing of the downregulating. From here, when you're ready, we'll work our way to downward facing dog. So if you like, inhale your arms around and up, palms touch. Exhale to fold. As much bend in the knees as you need. Inhale for your halfway lift, and exhale to fold. From here, we'll plant hands. We'll step feet all the way back to downward facing dog. If you wanted to take, if you have in your practice, the vinyasa, the chaturanga, cobra, and so on, you're welcome to find a flow there. And we'll just breathe here in down dog. And then in down dog, you can shift and move if you like. So if you want to take any particular shifting, moving, pedaling that you need here, you can find whatever distance you like between your feet and your hands, as much bend in the knees as you need. So feeling for this more organically than being necessarily concerned with a particular look of it. Find the length in the arms. If that feels stabilizing, maybe spin your armpits towards each other. And then from here, we'll slowly lower the knees down to the floor. And then we'll lower down to belly. We'll take a little bit of abdominal down work before we flip over onto our backs. So meeting first in a sphinx pose. Let's find sphinx to get oriented. So elbows can be pulled under the shoulders. If you need a little less back bend, you can reach your elbows a bit forward, but depending. So find a position for your elbows. And then from here, also the distance of your feet. Feet can be wider, you can pull them closer together. Whatever feels comfortable for your low back. And then when you're ready, press your feet into the mat, lift your kneecaps and draw your tailbone down. So feel for some length in the low back, some engagement through the legs. Maybe pressing your elbows into the mat and pulling your chest forward. You can experiment with glute engagement here, so whatever feels like you're stable, you have length in your low back, and you feel supported in this posture. It's probably not a hard squeeze, but some engagement of the glute muscles can help elongate the low back. Maybe some steady breathing here. You might focus your gaze on one point. And then when you're ready, we'll lower down. We'll take a quick crocodile, stacking your hands or your arms, resting your forehead down. And you can find some steady breathing here, maybe a little release, maybe some softening now of your abdominal muscles. And then when you're ready, you can repeat sphinx and pause and hold there. If you want to take a locust pose, I'll take us through a locust, and we'll find 3 of them with a little bit of engagement and then release, and then we'll push back to child's pose. So that's where we're headed. So either repeat sphinx if that makes you feel more comfortable. If you want to try locust, you'll lower your chest, or depending on where you are, either lift or lower your chest so your face isn't mushed into the mat, and then reach your arms back behind you. Same engagement for the legs here, and decide on what space you want between your legs, whether they're close together, a little wider. And press the tops of feet into the mat, lift up on your knees to engage your quads. And then we'll start to peel the chest up off the mat. You might draw your shoulder blades together. Now from here, you can keep your hands and your feet down, or you can lift them and decide if you want to lift both or one or the other. So everything could lift, or could just be hands, or could just be feet, whatever you prefer. So we'll find your shape. So consider this a little prepare, come into it. Draw the core in, squeeze shoulder blades together, be a little lift of the gaze. And then when you're ready, we'll lower. We'll do that again. So just lowering a little to release, then we'll re-engage, lifting up. Steady, smooth breathing here. Be a little drawing of the tailbone down and away, pull your low belly in, then we'll release. One more time, if you like. If you're done and you've had enough, you can come to crocodile and rest there, or one more time through locust. Steady your breath. You feel the strength of your own back and your legs here. And then we'll release. We'll all meet now, if you like, in crocodile. So you're welcome to find crocodile once more, maybe resting your forehead down. You could, for a moment, pick your feet up and swish your knees. Good. And then when you're ready, you're welcome to lower your legs down. So feeling a little bit, again, that engagement, and then release. From here, we'll press up and back to child's pose. So shifting your weight all the way back, find some length through your spine. You could keep your arms actively reaching forward, or you could pull them in for a little more ease around your shoulders. You could also find a puppy pose here instead if you prefer. Your hips do not have to come all the way back to your heels. So you're welcome also to modify this in any way so you feel comfortable. The goal really is just to lengthen out the back, counter pose to the back bending. And then when you're ready, you can make your way back up to tabletop, and then we'll come right down to our backs. So if you need any props here, if you need a blanket under your head or any support or even a blanket to lay over you, you're welcome to find that. We'll meet on our backs. Take a moment once you're there and make yourself comfortable. So if you have any fidgeting or adjusting, like I was just doing, you're welcome to that. So that you can feel the support of the floor underneath you. Final few moves before we wrap it up. Maybe now pulling your knees into your chest. You could wrap your arms around your knees or just hold on to your shins or your knees with your hand. And then maybe rock a little side to side. You can stay with this, or you could take hands to the tops of your kneecaps and reach your legs away from you. Apanasana, knees to chest, if you want to go with this one. So the starting position is the arms long, hands on tops of the knees or thereabouts. You can inhale here if this is comfortable to you, maybe a full inhale, and then exhale, hug your knees into your chest. We'll do that a few more times. Inhaling, knees out. Exhale to release knees in towards your chest. You're always welcome to breathe in any way that feels most comfortable to you. Or you could follow the cues, breathing inhale, then exhale, knees pull in. Maybe coaxing out, maybe a little longer exhale. Inhaling out if you like. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Going at your own pace. We'll do a couple more like that. So reaching knees away and pulling them in. Maybe two more. From here, we'll set up for a twist. So twist in any way you like. You could plant your feet and drop your knees over to one side. You could go either side. We'll do both. You can pick. Decide which one you want to do. So it could be a double knee drop to one side, or you could cross your legs and drop. That would be an option. Or you could hug one knee into chest and then go that way. I'm going to go for that. I'm going to hug, for right now, left knee into chest and then drop legs over towards the right. Arms could be doing what you want them to be doing. Could be out into a T shape, or they could just be resting next to you, whatever feels most comfortable. Feeling for that rotation around your torso. Maybe the shoulders remain heavy and mostly connected to the mat. So the twist is around the navel area. Some breathing here. Your eyes can be open or closed. One or two more breaths if you're still in it. Maybe now feeling if there was heat that had accumulated and that muscle engagement, feel for that release now. If your heart rate is slowing down and your breath rate is slowing down, perhaps. Sometimes we notice these things and sometimes we don't, and it's okay. It's okay either way. And then when you're ready, you can roll out. I might grab hold of both my knees and rock a little, so you're welcome to do that. You could hug your knees into your chest and rock. Or maybe you want to plant your feet and swish your knees side to side, either one of those. Something in between so you can reset before we take the other side. And then as you're ready to prepare, twist of your choice on the other side. Set it up any way you wish. Then when you're ready, guide your leg across your body to the other side. Maybe you open your arms out, or again, whatever you'd like to do. For your twist, you could check. If you have one leg straight and one leg bent, you could check with the underside leg, well, even if it's bent too, and see if it can just release a little bit. Sometimes that leg the underside leg wants to grip on. See if you could let that soften a bit, if that's comfortable to you. Maybe draw your shoulders down a little away from the ears. You could soften your face and your jaw. Maybe noticing your breath, if that's comfortable to you and available to you right now. And then as you're ready, rolling out of the twist and then into any final stretch of your choice. So if there's something that your craving that you need right now before we take a little pause and rest and maybe focus a little light meditation, you can find that now. So it could be hugging knees into chest and rocking, could be swishing knees side to side, maybe it's both legs up for a few minutes and circle your ankles, so no, not a few minutes, a few breaths, circle your ankles there. So any shape variation that you want to go for, you're welcome to take that now, so that you feel that you can rest comfortably. Maybe you need a little more moving, and you're welcome to pause the video and find any other stretches or moving that you feel that you need before rest, depending on your time. Okay, so if you feel ready for it and you've had enough moving, we'll find a comfortable position. So you could extend your legs straight into a traditional shavasana with the arms out a little, palms up, or you could plant your feet, widen out the feet a little, and have the knees drop in for constructive rest. So any orientation you want to go for. You could even sit up if you don't want to be lying down. So your choice, find a position where you can be comfortable. That is really what asana is, a comfortable position to prepare for meditation traditionally. So we'll find that now. And then when you're there, feeling for the support underneath you, whether you're on the floor, you're feeling the ground underneath you, your head and spine supported. If you are seated, feel your sitting bones connected, legs connected to the ground, and anchor into that support. And then where can you find some lightness and ease as well, perhaps? So you soften your abdominal muscles, allow your shoulders to be at ease, face and jaw to be at ease. Maybe noticing your breath. You could slow down and deepen your breath. Or just let it flow naturally here, of course, as well. The focus of this rest just for a very brief time, and then I'll be quiet for a traditional shavasana. So it's a little bit of a meditation, just watching thoughts. So watching your thoughts. This can be uncomfortable sometimes, so if this is not working for you right now, you're welcome to focus on anything else. But it can be helpful to learn to watch thoughts come and go, to notice how often incoherent they are, how they do come and dissipate. And the idea is, can we notice the witness behind the thoughts? Is it possible to just watch them come and go? Thoughts are not self-aware. They arise in the mind, and just almost as quickly as they arise, they go off, and something else replaces it, another thought replaces. We'll take a moment and see if it feels comfortable to you to just notice for a moment your thoughts as they come and go. When you feel one arising, you notice the thought coming, you can say to yourself, thought, you can just notice, and then the inquiry as well is, so to whom are these thoughts arising? Can you become the witness? This takes practice. We'll pause here, I'll be quiet, and give us a minute or two with this, and then cue you into a final rest. So thoughts come and go. You can use the analogy that is often put in place here with the sky, the blue clear sky is the background, and the thoughts are like the clouds, and we just pass right on through. No need to attach or resist any thought here. No need to attach to or resist any thought. to be the witness again of thinking. Sometimes if we're overthinking, we can become very resistant to that. So here we're trying to just take a step back and just to notice, to observe, to witness the thinking mind without making it the enemy necessarily. I know it's very difficult. And then from here, when you're ready, you can continue with that, of course. If you found that you were getting into a little rhythm, just watching your thoughts come and go, if you've had enough, you're welcome to just let that go. You could return your attention to the ground underneath you, to your breath, and maybe just let yourself be just for about another minute here. So just one more minute. And if you need to end the practice, of course, you're welcome to do that. But I'll cue us out in another minute. So this is just now a moment to let it all go if you can. Get a minute's rest or so. Alright, so maybe start to reawaken. And you're welcome to take a few slower, deeper breaths here. You can come into any small movements or stretches that feel good to you. You could circle out your wrists, wiggle your fingers, maybe find a stretch or two if you like. And when you're ready, we'll meet in a seat. So final seat of your choice. We'll close out the practice. So, find my necklace. If you need any support underneath you for the final seat, you're welcome to that. Maybe feel some length in your spine. You can roll your shoulders down again. And we'll close it out. So if you like bringing your palms together to touch at your heart center and pausing to thank yourself for taking time for you. These practices are sometimes hard to do and hard to make time for. So thank you for being here. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Otherwise, we'll close it out. I'll close with an Om, 3 Shantis, the peace chant, 3 Shantis for peace, and then the metta prayer. You're welcome to join me in the Om and the Shantis if you like. Be bowing to your own heart. Inhaling for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Thank you so much.